Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Varun Sivaram and my teammate's name is Gautham Krishna Nair. Both of us are second-year MBA students from Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore. Our faculty guide was Mrs. Vinitha VU, Assistant Professor at Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore. Amrita School of Business is a part of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham University. Our research has been titled Adoption of Over-the-Top Media Platforms, an Empirical Study in the Indian Context. Next slide, please. The agenda for today's presentation is, first off, the introduction, next to the literature review to see the factors on which we base the study on, the research question, conceptual model, research design that was adopted, analysis and results, findings and conclusion, and finally, to the managerial implications or the practical aspects of the study. Next slide, please. So to begin with, OTT platforms are something that has been in the Indian scenario for quite some time now, and it was a service doing quite well. A factor that made everyone realize the significance of OTT services was the COVID-19 pandemic, when going out to watch movies was something which no one could even imagine about, while OTT platforms made available the content you need at your own convenience. OTT services basically follow a business model that completely revolves around subscription, where users have to pay certain amounts of money according to the various schemes or plans offered by the different service providers and thereby subscribe to the service. In India, the OTT market is still in its growing phase, but has already got a list of players involved like the Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, Disney Hotstar, Voot, GeoTV, etc. This research is basically an attempt at understanding the factors that influence the adoption of OTT media platforms. Next slide, please. So regarding the literature review, we got the variables which we based a study on from these literatures. It was understood from the review that factors like customization, content quality, perceived enjoyment, user interface, etc. were the crucial factors that caused the adoption of OTT media platforms. Factors like content richness, user-friendliness, etc. were the ones that caused the shift of consumers from traditional TV services to the OTT media services in India. Also, factors like mobility, convenience, content, and also the subscription strategies were the ones that would ensure higher levels of engagement of the consumers in OTT. Also, the relative advantage and compatibility of the online video platforms decrease the likelihood of using television. Next slide, please. Now to the research question, and it has been framed as, what are the factors that influence the adoption of over-the-top media platforms? It is because the study basically intends to find out the different factors which have an impact over the decision of consumers to change to OTT media services from the traditional TV services. Next slide, please. Regarding the conceptual model, the study's model explores the effect of 7 independent variables on the adoption of OTT media platforms that have been extracted from the relevant literatures. So about the 7 independent variables, first one is the perceived ease of use, which is the degree to which a prospective user believes that using the particular system would be free of effort. Next is the perceived enjoyment, and it is the extent to which the activity of using OTT media platforms are perceived to be enjoyable in its own right, apart from any performance consequences that may be anticipated. Customization is the degree to which a company's offering is well tailored to suit the desires of the heterogeneous customers. Compatibility is the consistency with the existing values, past experiences, and needs. And when it comes to the new technology, the factors like lifestyle, work, community, social norms, etc. of the person would also affect the reason for adopting new technology. Content availability is that there is a wide variety of entertainment, factual content, educational materials, and lifestyle content, such as health or travel, etc., being available. User interface is the environment where communication, information search, and also the transactions are conducted by online users. Trialability is the degree to which potential adopters believe that they have an ability to experiment with the technology before making a usage commitment. Now I invite Gautham to take on from here.
Thank you so much, Varun. A warm good afternoon to one and all. This is Gautham Krishna Nair here. So moving on to the research design. For collecting the data for our research, we used a structured questionnaire from a diverse audience aged 15 and above. The data was collected via Google Forms from 275 respondents who belong to South India, which include long-term users and also people who have started using OTT platforms recently. We had used snowball sampling method for the same, and to measure the 7 independent variables, 21 items were used, and 3 items were used to measure the dependent variable, that is intention to use the OTT media platforms. And this was done using a 7-point Likert scale, ranging from 1, that is strongly disagree, to 7, which is strongly agree. Now moving on to the analysis and results. For conducting the data analysis, the tool which we have used is SPSS. First of all, the Cronbach's alpha measurements were used to assess the questionnaires reliability, and all of the variables Cronbach's alpha values obtained were greater than 0.7, indicating that all of the construct's factors are reliable. The KMO test was used to determine the sampling adequacy, and the sample data has a KMO value of 0.924, and the Bartlett's test was also found significant as it is less than 0.05, indicating that the data set is suitable for factor analysis. The 21 items were subjected to an exploratory factor analysis to understand better the latent constructs and factor loadings. The principal component analysis method was used to extract the variables, and Verimax rotation was used to obtain factor loadings of at least 0.5, and the factor extraction was based on eigenvalues of 1 or higher. Further, we used a regression after obtaining the results from factor analysis, and the adjusted R-square obtained was 0.577, which explains 57.7% variation in dependent variable intention to use is due to independent variables trial ability, content availability, customization, perceived enjoyment, and user interface. Now moving on to the findings and conclusion. Our findings are such that the variables perceived enjoyment, user interface, and trialability have statistically significant relationship towards the intention to use OTT media platforms, as these variables have significance values less than 0.05. Therefore, hypothesis H2, H6, and H7 are accepted and the rest are rejected. From our study, it is seen that the factors like enjoyment, trialability, and user interface show significant relationship towards the adoption of OTT media services, and they're the main ones favoring OTT service providers to gain customers. Therefore, the OTT media companies have to bring in new strategies that provide the users a better viewing experience, an easy platform for interaction, and satisfactory trials, as it will help in better customer retention as well as customer acquisition. Now moving on to the managerial implications. The OTT media industry is growing rapidly, and there is still a lot of room for expansion because it is a more mature and sophisticated variant of the traditional TV. Findings from our study indicate that the perceived enjoyment, trialability, and user interface show a significant relationship towards the adoption of OTT media services. And as a result, companies must develop suitable strategies that provide users a better viewing experience, an easy interaction platform, and satisfactory trials in order to attract more customers and to establish good long-term relationships to fully exploit the opportunities available in the OTT market. These are some of the references. So that's it from our side. Thank you all and have a nice day.